Hi, I'm Wes Smuts with McGrath Real Estate, and today we are chatting with Brad Korte, the operations manager of the Korte's Resort here in Rockhampton City. We're going to talk a little bit about bedrooms, how they relate in the resort, as well as what Brad thinks is important in a bedroom for himself and home. Hi, Brad.
Hi.
So what do you think matters when it comes to a hotel room, specifically referring to the bedroom part of it? What do people need?
Yeah, well, the bedroom for us is the most important part of our business. Our business is sleep. We actually sell the product of sleep. People visit us after a long day's travel and they want to come in and have a wonderful night's sleep. The design, the concept of what a bedroom is to us is very, very important to distill the concept of why they need to be here firstly, and then what they actually want to get out of it secondly. The process thereafter is sort of arbitrary. Obviously they're coming in to have a good night's sleep. Following from that, obviously the bedroom to us is something that is obviously quite sacred as a personal aspect, and it's a very hard one to make sure the business is sort of distilling that correctly.
Yeah. How important do you think is the quality of a bed, the actual bed?
Extremely important, extremely important. Obviously for us as a business, it's very, very difficult to get the perfect aspect, let it be a soft bed, a hard bed, or in between. For us, it's always something that you have to master and find the correct bed that's the perfect for everyone. Very, very difficult, but once you find it, yeah, you've nailed it.
So you think it's important to go and try a bed out before you pick one, like line all the different beds?
100%. We slept on about 80 different beds to find what we have today.
And when you get feedback from your guests, they feel the bed's important, they comment on it?
Definitely, definitely. Even for us located in Rockhampton, we often find that people are travelling north and south. So for us, after a long day's travel, they need a good rest so that we know that when they travel on, they're well rested and not going to have an accident a little bit up the road. So it's very, very important that they're well rested as well.
Now, when setting up and designing the rooms in the hotel, you've mentioned earlier that simplicity is quite important.
Very important.
Why is simplicity so important in a bedroom?
Yeah. From the business aspect, realistically, simplicity is something that is required for the idea that they need to know that they feel welcome there, they feel calm, and that it's somewhere that they're actually going to enjoy being in. Yes. Simplicity for the idea of us as well is that when they walk in, it's nothing too complex. The mind's not going to sort of, stray from the idea of wanting to sleep for the purpose of why they're here. Simplicity also means that when they're here, they can just drop their bag, and if they need to, just jump straight into bed as well. It's not going to throw them off where, do they need to do anything? Do they need to change anything? It's just walk in and jump straight into bed.
Yeah. So, a bedroom, I think for a lot of people is a respite or a break or a sort of space to recuperate after a busy day.
Definitely.
And I think if it is too busy and there's too much decor and too much stuff going on, it's a little bit distracting, is that?
That's correct, yeah. So in the modern world, obviously, where we live in with all of our technology, a hotel room, it's a very hard one to define, obviously, because it's usually a multi-room space. It's usually a combination of a lounge room and room, or if it's an apartment, the bedroom's usually still containing a TV. With that process, that's usually a distraction, no different to a phone as well. So a hotel room really needs to mask the idea that you can shut that off if you like, or you can still have the purpose of still watching a movie in bed if you desire. The personal aspect of that, obviously, in your modern day bedroom at home, is something that should be almost sacred and a space that you almost shouldn't have any electronics in there. Obviously, that's a personal choice there.
Well, that actually leads very well into our next question. What is important to you in your bedroom at home to get that break from the day?
Definitely. Obviously, I work quite a long shift, and usually it's a space that I feel, after a long day's work, I need to be there to relax, to calm down, to recenter, and then obviously have a great night's sleep. Having my phone in the other room on charge, etc., is very, very important. No TV and stuff like that as well. So having that space that is mine, a lot of warm tones, a lot of comfortable colours in the room as well, and obviously having a really nice dark room as well is very, very important. Yeah.
So what do you think would be the ultimate luxury in a bedroom?
The bed. Always the bed, yeah. I feel, and even myself, if you're going to spend anything of any sort of dollar value, the most important part is the bed, definitely.
Okay, so I think the message that you are giving us, it's quite clear whether it is a business or at home, that bed has to be the focus. So you need
100%.
to make sure you find a bed that's comfortable, that's quality, and then build the room based on that.
I believe so, yes, yeah. Obviously with reference to personality, let it be a style of colour or choice of, decorative around the bed, etc. It's something that you fit the bed first, I believe, and move forward from there. Realistically, then, if you want to add flair to it, colour, a different rug or etc. in the room, a nice lamp, I think it needs to be centred around that one aspect of why you're there, and that's there to sleep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you very much, Brad. We appreciate
Wonderful.
spending time with us today, and it was great getting some insight into what matters when it comes to hotels and commercial bedrooms, and also your opinion on your home. Thank you for the time.